Dragon's Dogma, arguably the best action RPG of the last generation. But what made it so good? I think one of the key factors is the combat. Capcom just knows how to make combat systems. They know what feels good, and I mean, combat systems are Capcom's bread and butter. We all know that. And what's been missing from most of the deep RPGs that have come out in the last 10 years? Really solid combat. Think about Skyrim's combat for a second. I think the best way to describe it is that it works. It's not terrible. Some might say it is kind of terrible, but it's very basic. It's rudimentary. It just works. But Dragon's Dogma is the equivalent of putting a fighting game combat system into an RPG scenario. It is absolutely amazing to play. And as an RPG fan, it's something that I've been wanting for so long. And I just recently finished a playthrough of Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen on the PS4 Pro, and I was really surprised that a lot of people hadn't even heard of this game. So it was really good to show people what this game was all about. Now, no matter which class you pick, the combat system will make you feel powerful. The three starting classes are Fighter, Strider, and Mage. Obviously, Fighter, Sword and Shield, Mace and Shield. Mages, spellcasters. Striders are more like ranger/rogues with access to bows and daggers. And there are advanced classes also. Warrior, which focuses on two-handed weapons. The ranger is a specialized version of the strider that focuses purely on ranged weapons. There's a sorcerer, which is an improved version of the mage. It basically cuts out all the healing spells and buff spells and goes for a pure offensive build. There is also a mystic knight, which is basically a sword and shield user that can also wield staves for casting magic. There is an assassin, which can wield swords, shields, daggers, and bows, and arguably has one of the most damage dealing moves in the entire game. And lastly, there is the Magic Archer. Magic Archers have a special magic bow, which fire arrows that seek out the targets and instead of dealing physical damage, deal magical damage. Some really interesting stuff there, and I've personally experimented with most of the classes in this game, and I can tell you that they're all fun to play. Now, the weapon and armor system in this game is absolutely phenomenal. There is hundreds of pieces of weapons and armor, and every single piece that you equip has a visual change on your character. And not only that, but you're able to upgrade every single piece. Now, this incentivizes not using the fast travel to move from point A to point B, because the more monsters you kill, the more monster parts you will accumulate to upgrade your weapons and armor at the blacksmith. It's brilliant. Now, the overall style and feel of the entire world, the characters in the story, it actually reminds me of D&D. The only thing really missing is dwarves and elves. Everything else is there, the classic trolls, goblins, skeletons, undead. I'd be really curious to see what you guys think if you have played this game. Now, it is an open world. It's basically a huge chunk of land. There are wide open areas, there are pathways. It's a lot of land to explore. Now, bear in mind, this game actually came out on the PS3, and comparatively, there's nothing else out there that's even remotely close to this. Now, one last thing I did want to mention is the nighttime aspect. There is a day-night cycle, and nighttime in this game is absolutely terrifying. Hands down, the scariest nighttime in any RPG ever. Now, you do have a lantern to carry with you, but it only lights up a tiny area around you, and you have to rely on listening. And this is where the sound really comes into play. More difficult creatures come out at night. Undead rise up from the ground. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's just something you have to experience. There is also a companion style system in the game called the pawn system, which will have you creating a companion character to your main character that will play with you throughout the game. You can also hire 2 extra pawns for a total of 4 in your party. Now, you can make these whatever class you want, or you don't have to use the system at all. You can run solo. But I will tell you this, if you try solo on the harder difficulties, it is going to increase the playtime a lot, because you will die over and over. Now, the main storyline is actually quite simple. It's quite short. However, the amount of content in this game that will have you walking all over the world is vast. Now, there is a lot of fetch quests. There is a lot of kill 10 skeleton style quests. I'm not going to deny that. But with the combat system the way that it is, and being so involved, it feels much less like a chore and a lot more fun. The DLC, Dark Arisen, also added an entirely new area to explore, which basically propels everything from the first game to a whole other place. You can upgrade your weapons and armor even further. There is so much more weapons and armor. There are new creatures, new boss monsters. It's literally dozens and dozens and dozens more hours of gameplay here. Lastly, I've frequently seen this game on sale for under $10 with the DLC. That is an insane deal. I highly recommend checking out this game. If you're a fan of RPGs, you're a fan of action RPGs, think of this game as a combination between something like Dragon Age Inquisition with the combat system of Devil May Cry with the overworld exploration of an Elder Scrolls game. It really is the perfect combination of all the things that I would absolutely love to see in a next generation RPG. The only thing is that it's starting to look a little bit dated. But that brings me to the final thing that I wanted to say, and that is, are we going to get a sequel? Dragon's Dogma 2. The game director Itsuno has pretty much said without saying that they're working on it. And I can't help but feel that we're going to get an announcement soon. Man, that is going to be an awesome day. Any Dragon's Dogma fans out there, let me know what you thought of this game in the comments below. And once again, I stream nearly every single day on Twitch, so I'll throw the link to that down below as well. Feel free to come through, discuss this video or any of the other videos. I'm always looking forward to connect with more single player RPG fans. Catch you guys there.